Together we'll conquer, no limits apply. Eclipse rising, shining so bright. With delusion leading, we'll conquer the night. Together we stand, in battles we fight. In dark Epoch, our future is right.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am Delusions, and today I have something special for you. It is all about wings. So, crafting them has always been just such a pain for everyone. And there's really not a whole lot of options that we can use or any kind of items outside of one that will increase our success rate. Let's take a look here to see if I happen to have one, and I do. So I wanted to do a brief overview of wing crafts for you guys today. So as you can see here, I've got at least one of each one that we currently have available, and wanted to go through and open them up with you guys. As you can see, those that do have a lock on them are untradeable. These two actually came from our daily login rewards, or through various packs over time. So as they've been just collecting dust in my storage here, I figured, now's as good a time as any to put them to use. So if we hop over into the crafting area, actually, before we do that, let's make sure that we have everything that we need. So we'll go ahead and straighten this up just a bit. I want to say that I should have plenty. Yes, I've got 412. All right, so as we go back into this, we're going to do these crafts together. So notice that when you're crafting these wings, going from tier 1 to tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4, they all have random chances of success. So tier 1 wings have a success rate of 50% right out the gate, and it will go up in increments all the way to 100%. This is very easy to go ahead and get a successful craft on. As we start moving into the tier 2 wings, you'll start off with a 30% success rate, and you could go through and you could add in all of your gear and climb that up to 77%, and in fact it will go up to 80% as well. So let's go ahead and knock out this first craft here. So we're going to go ahead and throw a couple pieces in, and we're going to go ahead and craft. So now we've got a tier 1 wing. That is a tongue twister if I have ever heard one. But since we have two of them, let's go ahead and make another one. All right, so now we have two green wings. So not exactly purple, what we were searching for, but it did get us 2 steps closer to getting that guaranteed unique wings. So as this works, anytime that you combine 8 wings, the next craft that you have will have a 100% success rate of being purple. That does not mean that it will craft successfully. It just means that it is guaranteed to give you those unique or purple wings that you might be chasing. Now, as we jump into our tier 2 wing, we can go ahead and throw that in there because of course you have to have that as a base, and then we can again go through and put all of this gear into this, and that'll bring us up to 76 to 80% typically. Now all of this is third gear. There's a 6-piece mixed off in there, so we can do this and bring it up. But essentially the higher the gear, the higher success rate, but it goes up to 80%. Now, outside of using these, we can then start with a fresh base 30%, and then we can click on one of these here. Now this item here is the Starfall's Protection. So combined to make second wings, but it boosts the success rate to 100%. So these come around every now and then in various events, such as the Water Splash or the Cozy Night that we currently have going on, or you can sometimes pick these up through different other random events throughout the MU journey. But for the sake of crafting, and just to make sure that we're able to do this, we are going to go ahead and we're going to use this because, again, it's only 4 second wings, and we don't have to put any gear, so we don't have to waste any gear. So we're going to go ahead and make that craft. And we lucked out, and we got the blue wings. Why this is so important is because I would hate to craft a set of purple or green wings on a locked feather, because I wouldn't be able to do anything with it other than feed it to some other gear. Now, this is where things really start going out of control, is once you get into your tier 3 wings, and your tier 4, and then soon to be your tier 5, in making those successful crafts. Because as you can see here, we're starting off with a base 15% on our success rate. If you fail, as much as I have, because again, for those that have watched my previous videos, I am the king of failure when it comes down to these crafts on these tier 3 wings. I just recently got my very first guaranteed unique wings, which means that I have only been able to craft 8 tier 3 wings out of 53. Now this craft here will be my 54th, so I'm hoping that because I'm doing it on YouTube, that you guys give me some luck. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to select our tier 2 wings, and then we are going to load this bad boy up with some gear. Now, granted, you will only see 55% here, and that is the highest that it'll go, guys. I have not been able to get this any higher with going all tier 7 gear, all tier 6 gear. So essentially that's where you're capped out at, is 55%. But again, we've already failed once before. So we've got 5% to work with. So we're going to go ahead and cross our fingers and hope that the streak doesn't continue. And it does, because again, I am the king of failure. But as you can see, that went up an additional 5%. So now we've got a 25% base chance on our next craft. Am I happy about this? Hell no. I hate failing all of these different wings, just because it's a lot of investment. You know, I have to buy all of this stuff uh, from auctions because I can never get any of it to drop. Uh, so when I have it, like, yeah, I want it to work. But now we can move into the tier 4 wings, because again, these two are going to be fed off of tier 2 wings. We have had an additional tier 2 that we had been saving, but as you can see, again, failed. I've only been able to craft 2 of these, which I got extremely lucky on my first craft, and then I got extremely lucky on my second craft, but the third one was kaput. So I guess all my luck through 740 levels has only got me to 10 higher tier wing crafts, being the 8 that I needed to get for the guaranteed purple on the tier 3, and then 2 successful crafts on the tier 4. But we're going to change that today because guess what? We have this, a Crystal of the Divine Realm. Now again, just like the tier 2 wings, this can come from random events as well as the water splash and the cozy night event that's going on. But note, it only increases it up to 50%, or it increases your success rate. So if we were to take this off, so right now we have a base 15 and we have 5% because we failed. So now we're sitting at 20. We can go through, attach this, it brings it up to 70%, which, you know, guys, I'm not super great at math, but I would say that there is something wrong with this because it is bringing it up to 55%. So that's really nice. I'm not going to complain about that at all. But now we can go through and we can start adding in our gear. So we can actually take this all the way up to 100%. Yeah, because we've got that 5% there. We can take this all the way up to 100%. And you know we have to craft them. So let's go ahead and craft those up. And we have some more green tier 4 wings. And they don't even have any lucky or any kind of strike ignore or anything like that. This sucks. But again, that's how wings work. So they're going to fail. They're going to, you know, just make you super frustrated the entire game. But I figured if I was going to get successful, it was going to be with you guys. But apparently, my failure follows me still. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys have a great day. And with that, I am Delusions, and I am out.
So raise your sword high, let's claim our fame. With every boss fallen, we'll carve our name.